All right, welcome. How's everybody doing? This is Mini live stream. Thank you for joining our live stream here today. My name is Regan. Yeah, so you haven't heard about Mini PC, but you haven't heard about the Mini Forum ever before. This is definitely the right live stream you just come in because we are the Minisforums. We are the most top number one, most sold Mini PC company. That definitely you can find something that will be definitely useful for you because all our Mini PC give you 100% certification, and you can check out all the like mini channel, mini social medias, and also any other platform, any forums. We're talking about our mini PCs. Definitely 100%. I have to say maybe 95% are all really good reviews, right? So like a lot of people loving using our product. A lot of people using our product for daily working. A lot of people using our product for just regular, for like programming, editing those engineering as well. And a lot of people using our mini PC to go for as a digital nomad. So our mini PC is basically really versatile, so you can use it for any kind of scenario, especially for its small size. It's really small, and that is so tiny that you can carry with you anywhere you go, and 100% really light as well. As you can see, what's in front of me, this one is our Minisforum M1 Pro that has just recently come out. This is so tiny that it's only 5 inches and 5 inches, and it can fit right inside my hand, just by a really small size, as you can see right here. So definitely it's really useful. Where is the volume though? Let me see if it's the volume. Yeah, so this is the perfect for daily working. That is for your M1, okay? So you like best of the best. This is an M1 Pro. The only difference between your mini PC, between like the AI X1, the AI X1 M1, the difference is when you're using the M1 Pro right here, that this one is intercore inside, okay? So on the AI X1, we are using the AMD chip, which is having the AI chip inside, that integrated AI chip, which offers you 30 to 30-bit TOPs. But on this M1 Pro here, we are using the intercore chip, which is 125H, was perfectly, useful for intercore. If you're an intercore fans, probably this device is much fit for you. Let's go browse. Let's go take a look on a little bit more on this product, right? You can go to our store.miniforum.com. This WEB. This WEB is mostly for those US, and we ship to US, and also we ship to all those North American countries, and also other Asian countries, and also Saudi countries as well, right? So if you don't know go where, go to the store.minisforum.com at first. And also you can see me live streaming at bottom right. So this is the place where you can place in your order just by clicking on my face, and also grab the stuff from this live stream. You can place in your order. The whole process is just so easy. Which one you want it. Let's go. If we want to order the M1 right now, where's my M1? Okay, I didn't put it inside. Okay, that's fine. Let's go with. Dang, I didn't put in my M1. Let's go with this MSA2, which is another our hottest product. Let's go with the barebone version US and add it to the chart. Yeah, easy checkout. Just deleted all the rest. Right now it's only 871. What is another great news, guys? I'm able to tell you that is in our live stream, guys. You got a special coupon only in our live stream room, right? So anywhere else you won't get this amazing special coupon. That coupon code is only available during my live stream section. That is my live stream only special coupon. So if you're watching this live stream right now, you got so lucky. I mean, you got this amazing chance to get using that another $30 coupons. That is on top of my hand. As you can see, there's a $30 coupon code that's only for our live streaming to use, and only for the people that are watching this live stream, you are able to know this amazing special coupon. So apply that coupon to any product, basically for any kind of product will be working so perfectly. $30 for save on your another payment. All right, so just apply this coupon code before you check out. Okay, I'm so serious. So right now, let me just do you a favor. Try to apply this one, MGPC30 onto there. Yeah, MGPC30. Click on apply. See what it got. Right. You got a $30 directly. I don't know if you can see that clearly. Right now you can see the price is only $841. So the original price is $871. You got a $30 deducted, really easy, right? Well, let's see all the countries we're able to ship to. United States, Antigua, Australia, Canada, those main countries, right? Israel, Indonesia, Jamaica, Mexico, yeah, and Philippines, Saudi Arabia, and St. Lucia. I don't even know where. Thailand, also Tonga, Vietnam, all those countries, right? No problem at all, right? So we're able to do globally. So if you're interested in our products, so firstly you can visit onto our store.miniforum and follow the step and just the same step I just ordered. But there is also we have other independent WB as well, including the Europe, including and also Europe and also Japan. We have Japan store, we have French store, we have UK store, and also we have the South Korea store. So basically depends on where you are. You can search them out, and that is like a little bit of faster shipping where just order from the local store, right? Yeah, exactly. So go ahead and take a look on all our mini PCs, right? It's definitely not gonna be disappoint you because all our mini PC we offer a best services, best after sale services, and free pre-sale services. What I'm saying is, if you like it, like within 30 days, you can keep it, right? So you don't like it, we have a 30-day free trial, which guarantee you can keep the thing you wanted, or just release, give up the things you don't want it. So what I'm saying is we have the 30-day free trial for you guys. 30-day free trial, what that means is you can try for the product for 30 days, no problem. Only if you don't like it, you can just, if you don't like it, just return to us. We don't even asking for the reason, and you can just directly send us back, and we'll give you the money back instantly. This our Minisforum mini PC right here that is definitely can fit into all kind of your working scenarios, and perfectly for your working if you are a digital nomad, especially when you are just if you wanted to do that, that is like a really quick way. MSA2, whether you're just looking for a working station, we have this MSA2 right now. MSA1, MSO1, those are our working station series, which is basically for you build up your like for daily working, no problem. And for some people are using this working station as a server, as also as a NAS device, and also you can just using this as a also fit into the rack as perfectly well. And this is like a really nice working station where you can just build up your cluster. So that is why it's called workstation. But on our MSA2, some people turn this MSA2 into an extreme amazing gaming PC for real. So on our MSA2, you could connect to with adapter, connect to with the all-clean port, to connect to with external graphic card. So you get the like actual graphic power with inside of this. That is a perfect fit with all your daily work, a fit to our gaming section, so you can play some 3A games really smoothly on this one. Because on this MSA2, guys, this on MSA2, we're using the best processor of all time on the mobile. This one is the AMD Ryzen 9 9955HS processor. Is this MS-OS? All right, click on the wrong thing. Yeah, so you serve. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Is there anything I can give you some advice? Yeah, I'll able to help you. I'm so happy. Yeah, this one is starting from 871, but we have the $30 coupon in my live stream, so don't forget to use that. We have the three specifications that you could use. Firstly is bearable, 64 gigabit RAM and 96 gigabit RAM. So and 2 terabytes of storage. And we do have like 2 cores that you can choose. So right now we are run out of storage of the stock of AMD Ryzen 9 9955HS processor. We only have AMD Oh, I'm sorry. We run out of the AMD Ryzen 7945HS processor. Right now we have is the AMD Ryzen 9 9955HS processor, which is the most powerful processor you can find for on the mobile PC. Right? It has a dual 2 gigabit SFP, dual 2.5 gigabit LAN port, compact form flagship power up to AMD Ryzen 9 9955HS building to the PCIe Type 16 slot, supporting for the bifurcation for low profile CPU expansion. And they have dual channel DDR5 memory up to 96 gigabit, triple independent display, single screen supported 8K, and also HDMI Type-C supported, massive storage U.2 supported up to 15 terabytes. So that is a crazy fast, with all those features, I'm turning this MS82 into an extreme amazing mini PC for your daily working. It's using the Zen 5 architecture, and with this core, guys, this is AMD Ryzen 9 9955HS processor with a 16 core and a 32 thread and a 64 megabit LC caches, 5.4 gigahertz, and 100 voltage turbo TDP. A Cinebench R23 multi-core, which is like the score on this one is really high as well. On the AMD Ryzen 9 9955HS processor, it can reach up to a score of 35,000, bro. 35,000, what I mean? Yeah, so that is like dramatically really quick. So we get a like a 35,000 that is like reaching up to the toppest of all time. And also, you can just throw in all kinds of, like intensive work, and also like all the multiple stuff into this AMD Ryzen 9 9955HS processor. It will run smoothly without any kind of slowdown. So what I'm recommending for people using this 9955HS processor is just programming, and you can just do a lot of engineering job on this amazing MSA2, guys. Look how small that is. You cannot think this a small mini PC holding with a huge power inside. The size of it is just only 7 inches times 7 inches, which is super small that you can just easily snack into any kind of place in your backpack. And also in the front, the height of it just about 2 inches, right? You can do a comparison when I'm holding the Pepsi to this. Look at this, how small that is. That is only half height. Salam alaikum, welcome my bro, thank you for the like. Yeah, look at this. This is only about half height of the Pepsi. So it's so small that you can just carry it with you to go at wherever you want. And also another good amazing feature is, this one have a little button down there that you can just easily open up like a drawer. So a lot of PC you need to have a screwdrivers and open up all that shit. Yeah, I'm sorry for the French. Yeah, you can just easily open up like this, and also you're able to install inside right here. You can see this is the PCIe 4.0 times 16, right? So for this port, you are able to connecting a low profile graphic, and also you're able to connecting a network card, and also you could connect to with this HDMI. HDMI, I'm sorry, the all-clean adapter as well. So that is like on the port itself, it doesn't have the all-clean port on the back, such as MSA1 does. But it's actually compatible with this all-clean connection. So which like on the YouTube, there is a guy posting a video using our DG1, which is our external dock, to connecting with this one with Link that he tried to play all kind of 3 games. It runs so smoothly and so nicely. So basically, fitting really well, and also that is like perfectly for your daily working, and it's nice for your workstation. Okay, on the back we have like this one, the maximum support the 96 gigabits of memory, RAM, right? But we have tested for real. We have tested. There are people are testing this online as well. The people are literally testing with 128 gigabits. This is also working as well. So if you wonder, that's like, but we officially says only supporting 96, but it's actually run with 128 is fine as well. But just a little bit more expensive. That's all, right? But think about this one can run a 96 gigabit RAM. It's just basically good for your daily stuff. Like even like small programming, well, like all the programming were able to fit in this as well, right? So that's like a really nice mini PC. How are you, Hambato? Thank you for joining, bro. Is there any help I can give you? Yeah. Cinebench R20 on the single core of this mini PC is reach up to 2,144. Check out all the score. You can just do a comparison with other brand. This score is really a high into this PC world. Even compared with this like normal size PC, this amazing chip is also really good enough for handling all kind of stuff, and also it's really competitive. For this kind of setup mini PC that is like only $800, it's not expensive at all. The CPU itself that are gonna spend you around over $1,600. So all the rest of the components for the like our build up, our design with all this thing, that is everything else. Like they're only charging you $200. Right? So like a lot of people buying our stuff is like, yeah, I have never bought a mini PC and bought a PC that with this kind of a high and get ratio. So if you pay $1 here, that you can get at least $2 performance into our device. I guarantee that, because we're really focused on how to lower the price of a mini PC. So those mini PC sellers who may not sell even start like have the chance to selling a really expensive price, such as Apple, they do like to sell them things that are really expensive. But hey, there you go. There's a really good replacements that you can enjoy with this only price of $800. So think about this. All the good deal is available right now that you can just take a look on the store.miniforum.com, grab them whatever you want. Right inside our store.miniforum.com, we have all the good stuff. Like whether you are looking for. Whether you are looking for a working PC, whether you are working for an AI performance mini PC such as AI X1, AI X1 Pro, M1, M1 Pro, and also just regular PC, you have A90 Pro, you have 790 Pro, which all have all clean port. And also if you're looking for another gaming PC, we also have them. That actually we're having a new gaming PC that come out really soon. Okay. That is called Minisforum G1, which is a specialist gaming PC. So if you want to play games on the gaming PC, guys, the G1 is definitely the best choice. And also having the low profile graphic card ports that you can just connect in with the graphic card inside of this mini PC, which give you more of the graphic power. German Ionic. Oh, how are you, my friends? Thank you for joining, guys. Yeah, tap the screen and give some like. If you have any questions, just drop in the comments. And also this one is definitely the most amazing mini PC on right now. This one's using this AMD Ryzen 9 9955HS processor. On the back, it have the two 10 gigabit LAN ports. Yeah, where that is? Oh, this part. I'm just holding it on the wrong way. So there you go. 10 gigabit two 10 gigabit SFP plus port. There are two RG45, two Type-C port. Also, what that is HDMI, and also and also another USB 3.2. Right, so this is basically set up for this MSA2 that is totally enough for daily use and a really fast reaction built-in PCIe times 6 slot, physical PCIe, bandwidth PCIe 4.0 times 8 is supported into the 2 PCIe 4.0 times 4 graphics card or network card. So this is like a really amazing mini PC that they can support a really fast data transfer, while you can just enjoy this game, enjoy this by just doing daily work, and enjoy this one using like your entertainment on that. It has a massive storage ability, unshakable reliability. Like it has 3 M.2 4.0 NVMe SD slots, supporting customer grade SSD, enabling up to 12 terabyte storage that is to meet the need of a critical and film professional. What is like we'll have like 12 terabytes. That is like already good enough. Well, normally people won't able to using that kind of a 12 terabyte. But that is like perfectly for those content creator, for those are like the asking for help, whatever. Because on our on our this one MS-A2, we're able to upgrade it to 12 terabytes. That you can store it a lot of things that like your other people don't like to store. Yeah, some people just forget it, and you can just store this in perfectly. You can just with a 12 terabytes of storage. What does that mean? You can just save all your children's photos and all your photos, or even the mom's photo, all inside of into this MS-A2. You will just remember all of them. And also take a look on our AI X1 Pro, which is also another revolutionized mini PC. Yeah, so like with this with our AI X1 Pro, you're able to having the power of using AI inside of AI X1 Pro, which is the AI is super smart. It can analyze what's going on. It can just help you to make some decision. What's best part is you keep recording the voice, recording the conferences, so all that. You can turn using a small little tiny mini PC that can recharge it really quick, and also it can just receive all those voice perfectly. Yeah, so 12 terabyte for normal people is totally enough. But what's more is we have even the bigger space for you guys. That is like when you're taking the U.2 together, well, you can definitely be so surprised, amazing. This is the U.2, which you can just change it to the M.2. Do you know that? The U.2 turn into M.2 is really easy. Where you have friends, come over, and you can just use this to just directly using this 15 terabyte of the enterprise level chassis is fitting to this amazing MS-A2. How is that possible, bro? This is like a small mini PC having about 23 terabyte of storage inside of a one little boat. Yeah, so you're probably gonna be surprised of this as well. This is how broad like this is how they start doing this, right? The Minisforum is definitely the leader, the pioneers, and also this wildest brand that that you can see from the market. That we only sell this beautiful mini PC that can fit into market. So what's the finally the storage inside of this MS-A2, guys? So 2 M.2 add up together is 4 plus 4, that is 8 terabytes. And also you have this another enterprise level M.2 changing to U.2. So another U.2 of hard drive, which is 15 terabytes. So 15 plus 4 plus 4, which you're gonna get a 83, which is really nice. Whoa, so smart of you. So I'm so proud of you guys. Yeah, so like if you wanted to getting this MS-A2, you can go to the store.minisforum.com, store.minisforum.com, which you can just see me live streaming on the bottom right. And you can literally click on me, that you can find the bottom right, MS-A2, and you can literally click on me into your house right away. So what's the best part of click on me in the market? we have this 30-day free trial. So and you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. Like it. So what's the best part of our business? There's no charge whatsoever. We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. Like it. So what's the best part of our business? There's no charge whatsoever. We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. Like it. So what's the best part of our business? There's no charge. We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. So what's the best part of our business? We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. So what's the best part of our business? We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. So what's the best part of our business? We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. So what's the best part of our business? We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. So what's the best part of our business? We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. So what's the best part of our business? We have this 30-day free trial. And you can literally grab your seat to your house right away. So what's the best part of our business? We have this 30-day free trial. What was that? So there was so many noise around me. How I don't even remember. I don't even know, bro. Yeah, so that is our MSA2. MSA2 is so powerful. You can hire all kinds of a career, all kind of a job. Could use this and made a lot of achievements. And also it has compensative interface and as I said, it has a dual 10 gigabit SFP plus. And also another dual 2.5 RG45 ports aggregate for the rapid data transport, unlocking the professional, really amazing. So this is a comprehensive interface lineup, really nice looking, and never gonna disappoint you. As I said, Minisforum is even the Mini PC company is not ranking people just go outside. It's really amazing. MSA2 so that it's not expensive at all, and you can just install 128 gigabits RAM, 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, maybe even 23 terabyte. Okay, there are 3 M.2, which is basically can change into charge to 12 terabyte, but you can change it to the 1 U.2 into this 15 terabyte enterprise level of storage. So what you finally get is 4 plus 4 plus 15. You got 23 terabyte of storage. This is a crazy. It has massive storage on shareable reliability. The 3 M.2 PCIe for the NVMe SD slot are supporting customer with grid SSDs enabling up to 12 terabyte storage to meet the need of creative and film protection professionals. That is really good. Over 1700 megabit per second, 12 per second. Yeah, this is a really good. So if you want to try this and go ahead and grab this at store.miniforum.com, it's no worry. The quality is definitely guaranteed, and also you got a 30-day free trial. 30-day free trial, so you can try it for 30 days. If you like it, you can keep it. If you don't like it, you can just directly send us back, no problem at all. It also supporting RADIO and RADIO1. So if you only want the best performance of the reading and writing speed, to choose with this RADIO mode. And RADIO1 is just this kind of people just wanted to make some noise and let people and to in the just a copy double of this RADIO1. So it's definitely taking a little bit a longer time to copy all those setup. So which our MSA2 is kind of a little bit slower than the MS01, but RADIO1 is a little bit slow than RADIO. But definitely if you run some really huge company, and if you are a businessman, you're probably gonna choose RADIO1 in your concern, right? So there is no data lossage on this MS1 ever happen. And also the triple capability of instant response. MS-A2 is up to 96 DDR5, 500 up to like the 10 the like the amazing stuff of our chip right here is like faster faster speed of running and reading the like inside. The MS-A2 supporting up to 96 DDR5, 56 100 memory compared to the 3M.2, the gigabit DDR4 32,000, which is DDR4 and like 32 DDR4. This triple capability, triple capacity enabling the smooth operation of M.2, like 20 M or like the Xiaomi. So Thank you for joining, guys. Tap the screen, give some like and follow us if you could. Memory latency is reduced by 80 nanosecond from DDR4, which is 104 that for the what is 104 of the the against the speed of 100 with the DDR5. Yeah, so like on DDR5, the performance is much more quicker. It's like the download, like the running speed is much smoother. So the like is really well as the 4 architecture, the chip. Like everything will be so secure as well. And also today, guys, we have the $30 coupon you could use on this MS-A2. Exactly. So if you want to get this one, just don't remember to copy this coupon code MGPC30, Magic PC for $30. You can just remember that way, MGPC30, where you can just get rid of those yeah. So like there are huge. It could be even much longer for you guys to restock from this, because our PC is really amazing. As you can see, our 80s our our software is also come out, which is inside our AI NAS device. A lot of people are just coming to my live and asking, did you see my live stream on before? Did you see my live stream that did you see my what I call it, the NAS device? I'm sorry, the NAS device. It's gonna be shipped out really soon. Yeah, it's like the NAS device is gonna be shipped out really soon. And after a few days, and after probably a few months or just 1 month, we're gonna starting to release MS-A2 stuff again, because on our on our NAS device again. The NAS device is definitely taking a little bit of longer time for wait, but and like it's not that you are not able to get it because the speed is just so fast. Okay, so 100% of like warranty give you the highest standard of our supporting our mini PC, and also our aviation grade precision design and modular instant upgrade at just the 1.78 liter in volume, which is just about 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter, and we are waiting all on the what they call I don't know, feature a really light phone that is only 1.4 kilogram. That is M.2 features that you need to design, monitor, and you designed the modular instant upgrade on this MS-A2, which means this MS-2 is really sharp on its build, and also it has the best performance. Wow, yeah, let's go. So if you want to check out this MS-A2, is on our store.miniforum.com. Great. So don't forget to give some like and give some follow. In today's live stream, we're mainly talking about some special deals. 30-day free trials you can get. $30 free trials, right? So and also $30 special coupon. So don't miss the chance. Okay, those coupon codes are only available during my live stream section. After my live stream, you are not able to using that coupon code anymore. So go ahead and grab this coupon as soon as possible. well, it still can. So if you guys and also if you guys have any kind of a question, just drop in the comment because I am new here. So if you wanted our like performance doing good stuff, and just posting, I'm right now you can save me $30 coupon on our everything. So like even though you buy 4 of the gaming monitor, you can still get in that $30 coupon. This is the biggest sales I have seen recently. The $30 directly save on the product, and also including the product that is already having the discount. There are some product that that is already having that kind of a discount that is like turn into a low price stuff, which is 382. That is like a little bit. Yeah, so some of those are really not expensive at all. With this $30 coupon, what's the final price? So you're gonna get this for Minisforum BD795i SE, which is 383. Right now, what's the final price you're gonna get this one? 383 minus 30, which is MGPC 30 coupon. The final price you're gonna get this is 353, right? So that's a price that is not even affordable for the CPU itself. The CPU we're using here is Minisforum BD79i ICE, which is a super amazing CPU that I could be using for any kind of a scenario. So like AMD Ryzen 9 7945, that is based on the big data. So like based on this one right here, so you are able to using that amazing chip. The chip itself is around $500 for this Minisforum BD795i SE. So like even the motherboard is like for sales, it's just about about like a few years ago. But this is still your this one is still our new advertise. Yeah, so like it's only about the price of 353 that you can get at this lowest price, right? So don't hesitate to grab this as soon as possible. I saw a lot of videos that are showing on the YouTube that they got this stuff, and they tell other people, how did I made up this my room, how did I miss this room, how did I do that. Yeah, so this is like a perfectly nice mini PC that you can fit into your own DIY. So if you have the DIY kind of you know how to assemble a PC, this thing and also the BD790iX3D, both of these two are the best option for you to get started, because the PC is not expensive at all. We did not spend all of them because I don't know, maybe sometimes, yeah, later. How are you, Hamburg? How are you, German? How's it going, everybody? Welcome, welcome. If you guys are being like someone was talking to you, and also I'm the one not good, but if you if you're looking for any kind of product that if you are looking for any kind of a stuff in here, that you have the budget, you can tell me your budget. If you have a scenario that you are using, that can tell me your scenario that you're gonna use. I can definitely recommend you with our top of the what is it called? This one is called Review. It's like called the amazing BD790 5ISE ITX motherboard. It's using the Ryzen 9 7945HS processor, which is not expensive at all. AMD Ryzen 9 790 45HS processor having a 16 core, 32 thread, and 5.4 gigahertz, and the 64 megabit LC caches. The current count on the LC caches, meaning up the dashboard flagship Cinebench R23 test, which you can just like using the AI to study some of things that that you don't understand, and also it's one of the two which he can get connected a little bit more, answer all the questions. Whether you're having a student inside your house, whether you're having a older person inside your house, you probably should consider about this amazing mini PC because this is a super small, super tiny. This is the motherboard, right? So you can build up your own PC with a different of your DIY. But that is only advising this advice to those people having the ability to do that. Or if you don't know how to assemble a mini PC, assemble a real PC, I would say, man, just just buy a regular PC that is gonna be totally fine. Huh. Yeah, so we have like a lot of assembled mini PC. This two motherboard is also one of our two of our like the star flagship product, and also including our DEG1 that is also most solid product as well. What is DEG1, guys? The EG1 is this one. This is called Minisforum EGPU dock, which is which is a really sensitive of a really sexy of the price, right? This one is only $99. That also supporting all the guarantee we have. Minisforum DEG1 all-click output, and then also he wanted me to using this amazing DG1 to build up their own graphic card on it and give it a power supply. It will just running smoothly as well, right? For this one, the AIX1 Pro, it has all clean port on the back, so it will able to connecting with this graphic setup to inside of this mini PC that draw a lot of power, a lot of graphic power into the PC that really amazing performance. So Alt-Link is really useful. If I'm choosing any kind of a laptop, any kind of a workstation, whatever, even the work, I only are giving the chance to the to people who said this guy is not that this setup is not that good, but I have to try it for yourself. So Minisforum and going to enjoy this amazing performance because it has 16 core and 32 thread. Also, you can play games. Also, you can just do a lot of research and study on this one as well. So the process is really easy. That you can just go to the YouTube. There are people teaching you how to do that. Yeah, so this is like wonderfully, and PCIe 4.0x4 expansion interface bandwidth up to 64 gigabit per second, low performance loss. Signal amplifier chip, net building signal amplification chip, more storage, high speed. And also it has a minimalist design, widely compatible with unlimited length of a video card. Open space without limiting the length of the graphic card, supporting up to the NVIDIA RTX 4090, and also right now we have 5090, something like that. Really easy build up, and also we're gonna check out some of the videos. So like if you want a Minisforum DEG1, which is a lot of people buying our DEG1, even that they do not need it. Even though they don't need it for our mini PC, they still could using our DEG1. To set up a really good all-clean port with all-clean setup, which is a really nice performance. Let's go with a little bit closer. Is there anything that has come recently? Look at this, Minisforum MS-A2. This guy built with this MS-A2 with RTX 5090. Wow. 5090, RTX 5090. The graphic card itself is just way much more expensive than our mini PC. This is like realistic. Yeah. Well, we still have more people in there. Yes, it's fine. Let's go ahead and take a look, browse on this video, guys. So let's look at this. This is all-clean PCIe card. That is like, you know, like when we know, because on MSA2 we don't have this. We don't have the all-clean on MSA2, but you know we can using a you know, like PCIe turn into the all-clean adapter into there. So you know that you can just directly connect from here. That you can just, you know, like you know, there is a you know, open up port in there, so that you can just directly using that as the, you know, connect to with the all-clean. So whether you're using the all-clean dock station, whether you're just using this, we do have another product that is called you know, like the docking station with the CPU, you know, with the GPU that is already inside. So you know, like, you know, that is another problem graphic card setup. So you know, like no matter what, you know, this all-link is supposed to give you the really fast transfer speed. The all-link itself is basically already, that is means with like super fast speed of a transfer speed, that you know you can just directly give you a really fast terminal that you can just transfer all the data within with a really, you know, like a really fast, right, you know, like a really quick of you know, like super fast of speed, right? So you know, if you want to do this, you know, that is like available right now, that you can just buy another this all-link adapter that is inside our I think this one is also in our package, so you can just use this directly. Is this in our package? I don't think so. Yeah, this tomorrow's gonna be a new day. It's okay. So live your life, live your way.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Fix 64. I'm Darren Hadley. And what I have here is my trusty Minisforum DEG1 or DEG1. It is a little eGPU setup. And what I'm going to do is put a nice power supply here. And this behemoth, the RTX 5090, right here. And make a eGPU temporarily, so I can test out the Minisforum MSA2 in my previous video. Okay, I have this ASRock PG 1300G. It's a fully modular power supply. And yes, it's overkill for an eGPU, but you know, a 5090 is nothing to mess with, and this happens to have a special sensor that if the plug starts reaching 105 degrees Celsius, it'll just shut everything down so that the cable doesn't melt. But you know, who knows if that really works, or if it's, you know, some sort of little gimmick. But yeah, we'll at least try it. We don't need all of this power delivery, but you know, this is just a temporary thing, just to try something out. So I am so used to dealing with SFX power supplies that this seems like Godzilla. It is humongous. I also noticed the cable is, you know, it's not your standard PC power supply cable. These are actually the ones that come with the new Alienwares with 1000 plus PSUs. I forget the name. Yeah, if you remember, tell me in the comments. And we have plenty of cables. Okay.
How are you, my friend? Thank you for joining.
Oh yeah, this has like a little side cable that plugs in here.
Yeah, the setup is really easy for the, you know, like a power adapter right here. As you can see, it's connecting really easy, smoothly.
There we go. Make sure no yellow's showing. Nope. Okay, so yeah, we got this little cable plugged in, this and that. And now, I need to figure out how to put it on this. This doesn't really matter which way. We'll just make the fan go away from the graphics card. All these thumb screws just tighten in. Tighten them just a bit more, just slightly. Okay, and then this does not have to go far. It just plugs in right here. Oh, that's monster cable there. Okay, and now for the 5090. There. Okay, now I need to hold that in place. Okay, so just put that in there. And these two in here. Is done. I think we are ready to hook it up to the MSA2. That will be in another video. I don't have time right now, but wow, I can't wait to try this behemoth out. It is huge. I think this is the max of what the DAG one can handle. Maybe, I don't know. There's probably bigger 5090s. Okay, one more thing. Let's install the Oculink card and get this 3050 out of here, because I think it kind of overheats the whole system.
This is the low profile graphic card here, which he installed right here. That is with the PCIe times 4 times 16 for O times 16 here. So that is another option in there. So that, which is like a low profile graphic card, is kind of like not that powerful, but it's basically fine to play in like all 3 games, no problem at all. With this setup is really easy to get connected. So and also which this setup is much portable, and you can just carry with this inside of the chassis. Where whereas the DEG ones, the seems much bigger, because 5090 guys, this one definitely needed a little bit more of the space, right? So, and that's the setup. The convenience of the part of this is when you're using this setup, that will probably like it's kind of heavy, but you can use inside your house. When you go out, you're probably not playing games or doing anything else, right? So you're probably not going to using this external graphic card, like you can just doing with the daily work stuff with this 9955 HS processor while just handling all kind of work. And also it has an integrated GPU inside. So it's more than enough to handling all your daily stuff, working on that. And also, there's another option. So it's just install a low profile graphic card that is also perfectly for your work and the study. Yeah, so no matter which scenarios you guys wanted. So how are you? No sound volume. Really? There's no volume? Did I have no volume in my lab? Because I don't know. Do I have volume right now?
I was testing it once I installed Windows, and I noticed that the temperature's idle around 57, 60 Celsius. And I'm wondering if it's this. The graphics anyway. I ran a still Nomad test and it came out 900 or something. I'll show the results when I do the next video. But anyway, let's pop this out. Okay. Oh, this part is kind of, there we go. Okay. Let's see how this one goes in. Should go in similar.
There's no volume on this video.
Sure,
I
that
see
lines up with that slot in there, and these are lined up here. And click in. There, that's all there is to it. Now we have an Oculink port.
I don't know, guys. Today the whole thing is just literally.
The retainer clip back in, and the screw. And now we have more airflow. Anyway, I'll see how if that changes anything. Yep. See, this thing's so nice to get into. Yes, I will attach this to this, and we will have a little fun. Hopefully it works. You never know. Hopefully all the ROPs are here. I have never used this card before. All right. If you want to see that next video where I hook this monstrosity up to this little tiny workstation with a 9955HX in it, then like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified when I post it. And I just want to thank all my subscribers and my viewers, and I hope you have a wonderful day, night, whenever you're watching this. Thank you. See you in the next one.
So this setup is so easy, guys. That is like able to connect in with MSA2, all that perfectly. And that you are ready to run any kind of stuff into there. So whether you're just doing the gaming section, or whether you're just doing about like amazing stuff, like all the all this gaming 3D rendering, all that is perfectly. Well, like I don't know why there is no sound at all. Is there because this volume is so low? Let me just switch to any kind of videos. I don't know why.
Hey everybody, this is Russ from Retro Game Core. I've been fascinated with external GPUs for the past year at this point. I have tried out a ton of different solutions, and none of them are perfect, but I have learned a lot along the way. So in this video, I want to talk about the overall state of using external GPUs as a PC gaming solution, the good and the bad that comes with it, and some of the frustrations as well. Now, the thing that really prompted me to reflect on external GPUs in general was a new doc that was sent over to me from Minisforum. Initially, I was working on a new
So basically, I mean, it doesn't have to pair, it doesn't necessarily have to pair with the it doesn't have to pair with the like our mini PC. It's compared with any kind of a PC that have Oculink. Even some laptop that have Oculink port that can use our DEG1 to get this set up as well, right? Which better part of this is when you put this outside, actually it's avoided to get overheated inside of your chassis, right? So sometimes like get overheated inside of your chassis, which could causing a CPU temperature growing, or like other components getting too hot, such as NVMe, like other card as well, right? Where you have this setup, it doesn't matter of the GPU, because the GPU temperature sometimes goes really well. Yeah, so especially when you're running some of extreme graphic stuff, like video rendering all the time, the GPU could getting a little bit over hot.
New Mini PC review, and it's got an Intel chip like some others I've reviewed, and I haven't really been happy with those this past year, but they said, hey, we'll send over the dock too and you can try it out with that. Well, as soon as the dock arrived, I was like, oh, this is like way more fun and exciting, and so I started focusing on the dock, and now I've got enough footage to actually make a full video about that. I'm sure at some point I'll make a video on that Mini PC, but for right now, I think the dock is just a lot more fun to talk about, so that's what we're going to cover here today. And it's called the DEG1, and there's a lot of things I like about it. The first is the price point. It's only $100. Secondly, it uses an Oculink port, which means that
this one is $99. Didn't you add a $1 in there?
we're going to have super fast speeds with a single
we were not like 99.99. We were just a 99.
cable. And then finally, it's totally customizable. You can use whatever desktop GPU you would like, but then also whatever power supply you want too. And so really, this eGPU dock is shaping up to be an excellent solution, but there are quite a few caveats, which of course we will explain in this video. So the way I see it, if you have any interest in portable PC gaming, then I bet you'll find a couple nuggets in here. And so without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, as we get started, let's talk about how I got into this whole external GPU thing in the first place, because it is a bit of a wild ride. It all started when I began this channel back in 2020. I was working out of my house. I didn't have a fancy studio like this back then, and that place is super crowded. There are 3 generations living in my house, and so I was basically working out of a closet. And I really just didn't have space for a desktop PC. There was a little bit of room underneath my desk, but then it would push hot air onto my feet, and living in Hawaii, especially during the summer, that was just a terrible experience. So I realized that I couldn't really work with a desktop PC. And so I started looking into mini PCs, and I've done a ton of reviews on this channel, and I've always been fascinated by how much computing power you can get in such a small package. And so I did that for a while, but then something came along that really screwed me up, and it was this thing, the XG Mobile from Asus. Now I got this as part of my review for the ROG Ally when it came out last year, and this little thing is an external GPU that basically satisfied all the problems that I'd had previously with mini PCs in that they were a little bit underpowered. This thing has a laptop 3080 Ti inside, and so what I did for about a year was I basically used this as my primary desktop PC. I would plug my ROG Ally into it, and then I get all my work done on this. And so I found the XG Mobile to be an awesome solution, but I found it to be very limiting as well because it's very proprietary. It's got a proprietary plug on it. There's no upgrade path for this. You can't put like a new GPU inside of it. This is just a one and done. And so at that point, I started looking at other eGPU solutions, the idea of using a handheld or a smaller PC and plugging it into something that was a lot more powerful. Now for years, the most popular eGPU has been from Razer. It's called the Razer Chroma. And there have been a bunch of iterations of this, although it's not for sale anymore. Well, last summer I did end up buying one, mostly to compare it with the XG Mobile, but man, that was a terrible experience. Number one, the GPU is massive. It's about the size of a small desktop PC. And we'll talk about some of the other issues I had with this later in the video. Now from there, I tried out a couple other eGPUs. These were both laptop based, much like the XG Mobile. And we'll talk about these more in detail in a moment as well, but the big thing about them is that they used an Oculink port, which gave me faster connection speed. And so leading up to this video, I had tried out 4 different solutions and I hadn't been perfectly happy with any of them. The proprietariness of the XG Mobile, and then the price and the size of the Razer Chroma, and then also the limitations of these laptop GPUs from these other ones. And so that all leads us into today's video, which is talking about the Minisforum DEG1. Now in all reality, there's nothing really special about this dock. You can build your own if you know where to get the board and the cables and everything else, but there's also the convenience and just the clean look of a mass-produced device, and so that's the big draw for me. The other main draw for me was the price point. It's only $99 with free shipping, and it comes with an Oculink cable, which is usually going to be around $30 on its own. So I think we should just jump straight into an unboxing and kind of talk about it as we go along. And in full disclosure, this was sent over from Minisforum for review, but no money was exchanged in any way. They're not seeing this video ahead of time, and of course, all opinions are my own. There's not a lot going on inside of the box. We've got an appendix with a diagram, and we've also got that Oculink cable that I mentioned before. It is 2 feet long, and the shorter the better with these. The shorter they are, the faster the connection speed's going to be. On top of that, we've got a mounting bracket for the GPU, as well as a bunch of different thumb screws to lock everything in place. And that's really about it inside of the box, other than the dock itself. Now this thing is really bare bones. We've got only 2 connectors here, and that includes the PCIe slot for your graphics card, as well as the power plug for your power supply. On the left side, we've got our Oculink port, as well as our SFX and ATX mounting screws for the power supply. And then on the right side, we just have a simple power button. Now underneath there is a panel with a bunch of screws, and you know me, I was super curious, and so I decided to take it apart and see what we had inside. And really, there's not a lot going on here. We can't make any sort of adjustments to the board itself. It's a very simple setup. So I guess if you just needed to repair it with a new board, this would be easy access, but otherwise you don't really need to get inside of it. Of note, the build quality here is pretty solid. We've got some nice rubber feet that keep everything nice in place, and then we also have some padding up top where we can place our power supply, and I assume this is to prevent any sort of static electricity, but it also feels pretty solid. Now in terms of power supply, you can grab whatever you would like, although this dock is specifically made for SFX and ATX sizes. Now for me personally, I wanted the smallest dock experience that I could find, and so I got the smallest power supply that I could get that had a good power rating. So I ended up picking up this one. It's called the SX500 from a company called Silverstone. I got it for about $115 on Amazon. Now the wattage of your power supply will really depend on how big of a graphics card you want to use. And the card that I'm going to be using only requires 220 watts, and so 500 watts is more than enough to power it. And also bear in mind that this power supply is only going to be powering the GPU, nothing else. And so unless you've got something like a 4090 that requires like something around 500 watts, then you can usually get something a little bit on the weaker side. Now this power supply was a little bit on the expensive side, but again, I made that choice on purpose. The number one thing here is I wanted something very small, but the second part is that I wanted something that was fully modular. And that means you'll be able to pick and choose which cables plug into the power supply, which is really important with a dock setup like this. Again, because we're only powering the graphics card, we don't need all the other cables that usually will come with a power supply like this. So looking at the back here, there are only two types of cables that we actually need in this setup. We need the full motherboard setup, which is going to be 20 or 24 pins. And then we also need the PCIe power for the graphics card itself, and this is going to come with two different 8-pin connectors. And so this is why I preferred to use a modular power supply, because I could just get rid of all those other cables, I wouldn't need them. Now, I had never actually seen an SFX power supply before, and I was amazed at how little this thing is. In fact, I think that I probably could have gone with a bigger ATX power supply and saved some money, but here we are. Okay, and finally, the last piece of the puzzle is our graphics card. So I'm going to be using an RTX 3060 Ti. I picked this up about a year ago, and that was when I was really getting into that whole Razer Chroma thing, and I thought this would probably be the best GPU in terms of price and performance for that kind of setup. And this cost about $350 last year, and I don't think that they sell it anymore, so you would have to get one of the more recent NVIDIA GPUs instead. But again, that's the wonderful thing about this kind of dock setup, is that you can use whatever GPU you would like, just make sure that you get a power supply that provides it enough power. Now the installation process is super easy with this, so we're just going to go through it pretty quickly. The left side has quite a few holes that are going to fit with whatever power supply that you use. And for me, it was as simple as just lining it up with the SFX ones and then using the thumb screws to put it in place. From there, we can install our GPU, which again will just slot into that PCIe port. And now we can use our power supply cables to hook everything up. First, I'm going to use the motherboard cable. It's going to be the widest one in your package. And I did have to take the power supply out just to make sure that I could seat it properly. And then after that, all we have to do is add our PCIe cables. And with my power supply, it was super easy because these had a blue connector on them, unlike the others, and so it was very easy to pick them out. And so really, installation took me about 1 minute altogether, and I don't really know what I'm doing with this stuff, but it was pretty plug and play. From there, your biggest problem is going to be cable management, just because, you know, most power supplies don't anticipate that you're going to have everything so close together. But for me, I just took a couple cable ties, and that fixed everything nicely. And it really doesn't have to be super pretty. If you think about it, when you're actually setting this on a desk, you probably won't see any of these cables anyway. So finally, the last thing we need to do in terms of installation is just to add that mounting bracket for the GPU. And this has all been measured out perfectly, so you can just connect it to the power supply and then the GPU. And so there we go. That was the full installation process, and here's our final setup. And personally, I think it looks pretty sleek. I like the idea of having an open air dock like this, just so I can see all the spinning fans. It looks pretty cool. Not only that, because we're not enclosed inside of a PC case, it actually stays very cool as well. In all the testing that I did over the past couple weeks and really pushing it as far as I could, I never saw the GPU get above 67 degrees Celsius. Not only that, there wasn't a lot of hot air being blown anywhere either, and so it was just kind of a really cool experience in many.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, this advantage is way much better than, you know, like even better than you putting this GPU inside of your chassis, right? But because, you know, you are putting this outside, you know, there's hot air just directly flow to whatever, wherever, I don't care, you know, just it doesn't matter, and just, you know, doesn't affect the other components. And actually this build up, and also easy to maintain this, right? Like sometimes you're getting dirty inside of your inside of this graphic card, whatever, like too much dust. You know, just, you know, like, you know, sometimes people are just too lazy to even open up the chassis and clean up and you know, like bend their knees, whatever. But you know, what if you put it on your desk, right? You know, just so you can just clean this, like just, you know, just by you know, reaching up with your hand, and that is so easy. So, you know, should consider about this PCIe 4.0 with external GPU, and also you are able to you know, actually some of the PC that are having the PCIe protocol, that you can just using this external graphic card as well with a ALC link adapter. So perfect fine.
Ways. On top of that, the fans on the GPU and the power supply are super quiet. I think it has to do with the fact that they're not enclosed, and so there's no sound reverberating anyway. And so as a result, I found this to be actually the quietest setup that I've found for any eGPU solution, and so that's been one of the big draws for me. Now, I think the aesthetics are probably an acquired taste. I think that many people will probably not want to have a bunch of like technology right there on their desk, but I don't know, I kind of like it. There's even a tiny little part of me that wishes that I had some RGB lighting on my GPU, because I think that would look really nice too. Okay, so now that we have the whole GPU setup figured out, let's talk about the devices that I used hooked up to it. And for my tests, I wanted to use two different products. The left one is just a full-on mini PC, and then on the right, I wanted something more portable, like a handheld or a laptop. Let's talk about the Mini PC first. This is the Minisforum UM780XTX. And I did a full review of this thing last year, and I'll leave it linked down below. And this comes with a Ryzen 7000 APU, as well as a terabyte of storage and 64 gigs of RAM for about $650. And honestly, this is one of my favorite Mini PCs that came out last year, and of course, most importantly, it has an Oculink port. And as you probably figured out, an Oculink port...
This is our Mini PC, which is A90 Pro. You know, you can see it right here. This is the 1890 Pro. A90 Pro, that is like, you know, like a little bit really good mini PC that is a small factor, right? And also on the back there is the Oculink port as well. We know we have the 2.5 gigabit LAN port, HDMI, DP 2.0, and USB 4. And also on the front, we also have the USB 4, USB 2, USB 3.2. So basically, it can fit into any kind of a scenario you are using this. That is, you know, like an amazing mini PC. So, you know, this is another thing that I could recommend you. This one started from around like 400 something, if I remember this correctly. Let's go ahead and take a look. How much is this? My mind is just blowing right now. Damn. I have a really short memory. Couldn't really remember how much is A90 Pro. I'm sorry. We have the different specification. We have the A90 Pro and also we have 790 Pro. So this one, as I said, starting from 479, which, you know, this is the only bare bone version and a 64 GB RAM and 1 TB SD that is available. The CPU that you're using here is AMD Ryzen 9 8945HS processor. You can see this is like A90 Pro powerful performance mini PC, right? So, you know, it has 8 cores, 16 thread, really amazing support for Oculink as well. As I said, really, really amazing. And also the dual SD card, dual DDR, you know, like SODIMM slot DDR5 dual channel. And also M.2 2280 PCIe for the OSD card. And also it had a ColdWave 2.2 cooling that it can just expand all, you know, like dispatch all the heat, you know, like respectively really fast. And also it has a Quadra screen screenability. As I showed you, there are two USB 4, DP 1.4, and HDMI 2.1, which is, you know, the support of 4K at 122 Hz. Or the 8K at the 60 Hz. That is perfectly for your daily use, you know. So whether you're just dealing with, you know, like whether you're just playing games on multiple screens, right? So, you know, like if you're playing the Horizon, I see people playing Horizon with a three screen around him. That is kind of fun. Yeah, that's a kind of fun way to do that, right? It depends on you, but you know, you can also you know, just dealing with your daily work and just handling all the stuff with several screen, which is a really nice experience as well. And do 2.5 gigabit to RJ45 experience, fast data transfer and powerful connectivities. The do 2.5 Ethernet port providing a smooth user experience, free up the storage space and improve the collaborative work efficiency. And also with the USB 4 gigabit, with the USB 4, which you can just enjoy the 40 gigabit per second transfer speed. That is really amazing. And also you can have the compact and the versatile placement. You know, you can just placing on the back. We have the VESA mount that you can just connect to. You know, just hang it on the back of the screen. You can just placing on the table. You can even just you know, like mount it on the wall, mount it beneath the table. I have a colleague that really like to, you know, he just, you know, hide this behind, like under the table, which, you know, like people just don't even recognize. You know, where is your PC though? I mean, you know, on top of his table there is only a monitor and his mouse and the keyboard. That's all. I mean, you know, like it look really neat, and also, you know, because of the cable just come through the comes through the table, right? That is like really short. You cannot even really recognize there are zeros, because he using the Bluetooth mouse, Bluetooth keyboard. Only thing that connecting with the cable that is in the monitor, which is the cable is really short. From the hole right here, and just directly connected to the monitor. So on his table is really neat because under there that is like a mini PC that are hiding there. Really amazing. And also, if you guys want to try this, that you can just order like from here, which I'm able to show you guys. Really amazing. A90 Pro that is in here, so you can choose in that bare bone version. And also, you guys could just sending out some emoji for me to let you know, guys, you are here. Sending some likes. Yeah, exactly. In the US adapter bare bone added to the chart. And you can check out from here, right? You can just directly check out. This is $479. And that is the bare bone version. And also you can click on check out to see the final price. As I said, there is a coupon code that is on top of my hand. So you can using that coupon code, that is really easy to use. There is a $30 coupon code that you could use on this all our product today's live stream. So that you guys are so lucky enough that you can get this amazing coupon that is like only available during my live stream section. Okay, so the coupon code is MGPC30. So you can apply it directly, MGPC30, click on apply. So what's the final price is only $449. You're saving a huge amount of money out of there directly. So the final price you're gonna get this is only $449 for this bare bone version of the A90 Pro, which is supporting the all-clean port, which is having the all-clean port in there. So basically, you are able to connect in with the DEG1 that it gives you the extra power for the graphic. This is the cheapest option. And also in some of other other products, like including our MSA1 Pro, MSA1, this M1, MS Minisforum M1 Pro, and also our AIX1 Pro all have the all-clean port, right? And also even our NAS device, so our NAS N5 Pro and N5 and N5 Pro also have the all-clean port. So basically, they all have the capability to give you external power, graphic power, to give you this, give you the supply to running all kind of gamings and all that,
is essential when using an Oculink dock. Now, when it comes to more portable devices with Oculink ports, it's pretty slim pickings. And there are a couple from INEO and a few from GPD, including this one here, which is the WinMax 2. Now, this one is last year's model, and it has a Ryzen 7000 APU in it, just like the Mini PC. And I also did a full review on this one, and I do really like it in many ways. When it comes down to it, this is like a gaming/productivity netbook. In addition to all the laptop things that you can do with it, it actually has built-in controls, so you can use it like a gaming handheld as well. Just bear in mind that all the functionality of this laptop is super cool, but it does come at a price. And so if we take a look at this year's model with an 8000 series CPU inside, you can see that it costs about $1,150. But bear in mind that we'll have 2 terabytes of storage and 32 gigs of RAM as well. So that's probably the first thing to really bear in mind, is that you're going to have some limited connectivity with this eGPU dock because it only uses Oculink. And so you will have to shop around to find mini PCs or handhelds that have an Oculink port. And unfortunately, right now, they are fairly niche. Now, I'm a big fan of Oculink because of its fast connection speed, and I think that other companies are paying attention. For example, during CES this year, Lenovo talked about one of their ThinkBook laptops that will have an Oculink port. Now, unfortunately, it still hasn't released yet, but it's called the ThinkBook 14 Gen 6 Plus.
I haven't seen a lot of laptop that does have Oculink. I don't know why. Because the Oculink is so important for a laptop, something like a laptop, where it's just basically use, oftentimes it's just use integrated GPU. Where I think, that would be super cool if they use, where they offer the option of external graphic. Such as Oculink port connection, right? So because when you're using the Oculink connection, with the laptop, even small size laptop will releasing the power that for your daily working, gaming and also video editing. You don't have to bear with like a super heavy laptop that is that is like, and also it's like really hard to like clean, right? Because on laptop they are like so compact, and I mean it's like hard to maintain this. When you have the all clean port, like basically for your daily working, you don't need it. For you, when you're having game section, you can just connect in with this DEG one, releasing the power.
And if you look at its specs, you can see that yes, it has that Oculink port. They call it a Lenovo TGX port, but it's the same thing. However, it's only been released in China at this point, and so we have not seen it in North America yet. So I do hope that we will see a wide...
I don't even know we have that.
range of product with Oculink, and we'll see why, because the performance is pretty great. Now, anytime I talk about any sort of eGPU or even a mini PC in general, one of the most common questions or comments that I get is something along the lines of, why not just make your own desktop? And I think that's a totally valid question, so let's tackle that really quickly. And honestly, I think there are only really two reasons to even be interested in an eGPU in the first place. And the first will be if you're like me and you have any sort of space constraints. For example, here's a desktop PC that I built back in 2020, and you can see here that it's a micro ATX PC case. And you can see that even though this is a smaller case, all things considered, it really does dwarf that GPU dock. And so even when combining it with something like a mini PC, you are getting a much smaller footprint all around. Now, for me personally, I do think that using a mini PC with an external dock like this is a little bit weird. And that's because we have two different things that are completely stationary. We've got a small mini PC hooked up to a small dock as well. And I think in terms of overall aesthetics, it doesn't look really good to me. It just really feels like a deconstructed PC at that point. So I think unless you're really constrained by space, or you like the idea of piecemealing together your PC setup, then an eGPU dock like this with a mini PC doesn't make as much sense. However, if you have a portable device, like a laptop or even a handheld with an Oculink port, then I think this makes a lot more sense. And I think that the WinMax 2 is probably the ideal solution for a dock like this, because it works on its own like its own laptop. So you can take this around, maybe take it to work or take it on a project, and it's going to give you full functionality, but just at a lower power profile. That gives...
I mean, I don't know I like this design or not. It's not really like a gaming PC, whatever, but well, I don't know how it feel when you're having that. That's kind of weird design. I mean, this kind of a handset is not gonna be so comfortable, and also it could be getting really hot when you're holding that. Why don't you just get a gaming remoter, man? It's not hard. Just one cable thing, or Bluetooth gaming controller. That is like only about $50. You can get a really nice one. For ours, this is only $39. And I don't know why you have to build this on a PC or whatever, which is, I don't think that's necessary, because play game with this two setup. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy the game or not.
You an opportunity to use it for work. For example, if you need to type out a paper, or if you want to do a little bit of light gaming on the go, this is also going to be great. And then of course, when you're home, you can take that same computer and connect it to that GPU dock and have a desktop experience. And for me, that's an ideal solution.
Actually, they have we're talking about the what they call the professional gaming controller, which is such as the PS5 game controller, where they have the like a portable gaming controller, which is probably just like a slice of name card. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily have to be big, but which is like way much easier to use on the PC itself, which is kinda I don't know.
Opposed to having a laptop as well as a desktop. That means you're gonna have to share files and all that other kind of stuff, as opposed to just having one machine that can do it all. And so for me personally, I totally do see the merit in having a laptop like the WinMax 2 connected to an eGPU dock like this. Now let's talk really quickly about installation, because this is a three-part process. Most of these Oculink-based devices are gonna run with an AMD APU. That means you need to make sure that you have the latest drivers installed. From there, I recommend using an NVIDIA GPU as opposed to an AMD one, because there have been conflicts with AMD APUs and AMD GPUs. And so the easiest way to get around that is to use an NVIDIA graphics card like the one I'm using. Now, to install an NVIDIA graphics card on an AMD device is a little bit tricky. The first thing you'll have to do is set everything up, then connect that dock via Oculink to your computer. Once you have that set up, you'll be able to go to the NVIDIA website and download and install the latest drivers for your GPU. However, one of the things I learned as part of this process is that often an NVIDIA graphics card is going to crap out with this kind of setup. Now, thankfully, I have a lifeline, and that's the Fox over on YouTube. This guy has been doing these kind of setups for years, and so he knows all the ins and outs. And so on a lark, I contacted Carrie and I said, hey man, I've been installing this GPU, but after I do the installation and restart the machine, I get all these errors. And within 2 seconds, he was like, oh yeah, that's an error 43 thing. You need to use this script. And so I'll leave this script down below. And this thing was a lifesaver, because all I had to do was just run this one time, and it's been working great ever since. And so that's what I mean by a three-part installation process. Make sure your own drivers are up to date, then install the NVIDIA ones, and then use that error 43 script. And after that, the setup is going to be pretty pretty seamless, but you have to bear in mind that Oculink is not plug and play. And so there is a process to getting this hooked up. First thing you need to do is connect the GPU to the computer, and of course you'll just need to use that one single cable. From there, you need to turn on the GPU dock first and give it about 5-10 seconds, and then turn on your PC. And after that, you should be good to go, but just bear in mind you will have to power down your computer again before you unplug everything. Okay, so now that we've got an idea of how the whole eGPU thing is going to work, let's now talk about price and competition. As a quick recap, here are the 3 components we need for this whole setup. It's going to be $100 for the DEG1, which will come with its own Oculink cable and free shipping. From there, you're going to need a power supply. I got one that was around $115, but you can get something much cheaper if you don't mind getting something bigger. And then finally, we've got our graphics.
Yeah, the setup is not expensive. You know that the whole setup is only $564. Then you can get everything that is mobile. Yeah, so which is really nice. That is, I don't know, this one is a little bit expensive than you thought. The power is like 150? Yeah, I don't know. Well, graphic card, there was guys for our last video, this guy is using the 5090
card, and obviously the price on this is going to vary by how much power that you want. However, all things considered, I think it's a pretty solid deal. For about $200, we're going to get a full Oculink dock as well as that power supply. From there, it's just a matter of using whatever graphics card fits your budget. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, for years, the main option that we've had when it comes to eGPUs has been the Razer Core X. And this is a Thunderbolt 3 eGPU as opposed to Oculink. Now, there are some benefits to this one. For example, it comes with its own 700-watt power supply. But there are 2 main detractors. The first is that they just don't sell it anymore. You can't find it on the Razer website, and it's not on Amazon anymore. And then, of course, the huge sticking point is that this thing is so expensive, I just can't recommend it. It is $500 retail. And so if you were taking notes a moment ago, that means that this is about the same price as the Minisforum dock we're reviewing today, but this one doesn't have a GPU at all. So you will still have to buy the GPU to actually put inside this machine. Either way, I personally did pinch my nose and buy one just because I wanted to use it for the channel and just to get a better understanding of how this whole eGPU thing works. And so here is the Razer Chroma that I bought last year. And it's actually been at my son's desk for the past year. He's been using it with another mini PC plugged in, and so he's been able to play Minecraft and all his favorite games this way. So it has gotten a lot of use over the past year, just not really from me. Now, one nice thing about this thing is that it actually works as a USB dock as well. So on the back, it has 4 different USB-A ports as well as an Ethernet port. So it does expand the amount of ports that you can use with your PC, and so my son has really appreciated that. But for my part, I've just always found this thing to be ridiculously large and heavy. Even when you take it outside of its case, it's still very big, and that probably comes from the fact that it has a large power supply. It also has its own case fan too to make sure that everything is nice and cool and circulated. But even then, in terms of just overall size and portability, it is quite a bit larger than the Minisforum DEG1 that we're reviewing here today. The other thing to bear in mind is that the performance bandwidth available on a Thunderbolt 3 port is going to be a lot lower than Oculink. We're going to do benchmarks in 3 different categories. We're going to start with just the Minisforum itself running its own APU, and then we'll do the same thing but with the Razer Chroma with my 3060 Ti inside. And then of course from there we'll use the Minisforum one with the same graphics card but with an Oculink port instead of Thunderbolt 3. And I found 2 really interesting things here. When I did 3D Mark tests with TimeSpy, I found that yes, there was of course a large difference between the APU and the graphics card setup. So on the top left, you can see just the Minisforum itself, and we got a score of 3343. That's about what I would expect from a Ryzen 7000 CPU. Now, on the bottom left, we have the Razer Chroma. This has got a score of about 11,000, which is actually pretty decent with the 3060 Ti with the Thunderbolt 3 connection. In fact, it's within about 10% of the score with the RTX 3060 Ti using the Minisforum dock. And so between the two, at least looking at 3D Mark's TimeSpy score, you might be thinking, wow, this is actually pretty decent. However, I found that when in real-world testing, there was a huge difference between using a Thunderbolt port as well as the Oculink one. Let's do another benchmark, this time with an actual game to illustrate my point. So in Horizon Zero Dawn, using a 1440p resolution, I got an average frame rate of 27 frames per second with the APU, and that's about what I would expect. Personally, I would rather play this game at 1080p, but I decided to use a standard resolution regardless. Now with the Razer Chroma, and again at 1440p resolution, we got just shy of 43 frames per second. And I think that's also pretty decent, and I think that's perfectly playable. I would probably play this at 1440p and then cap it at 40 frames per second to get a smoother frame rate. However, all of those stats kind of go out the window the moment I tried out the Oculink port. And so again here with 1440p resolution and high settings, I got an average frame rate of 106 frames per second, which is well over double the Razer Chroma. And overall, I found this to be just a much smoother gameplay experience all around. With the Razer Chroma, I would often find myself finding just weird dips when I was playing the game, to the point where I didn't find it to be as enjoyable. Meanwhile, with the Oculink port, I got a much more stable frame rate and much higher as well, usually about double of the Chroma. And I think this is really where the value of the DEG1 really comes into play. This thing costs just a fraction of the Razer Chroma, but
look at this. This thing is so dope. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to watch those graphic cards working inside. I mean, I think it's perfectly fine. That is 113 FPS.
But it gives it just about twice the performance. The real limitation here is going to be whether or not the device you want to hook it into has an Oculink port. Okay, let's move into testing now. I'm going to use the WinMax 2 for the rest of the testing in this video, and that is mostly because I think that the WinMax 2 and this dock are probably the perfect pairing. So for the rest of this video, we're going to use the Ryzen 7 7840U CPU from last year, as well as the Radeon 7080M integrated graphics. And we're going to do all my testing with a 28-watt TDP docked into a capture card. And for the most part, I found that this performance will be relatively decent at around 900p or 720p at around medium to low settings. That should give you a good frame rate of around 30 frames per second for games like Marvel Spider-Man. Now we'll start by doing a couple side-by-side comparisons. We'll start with Doom Eternal. Here, just using the integrated graphics, I'm playing it at 900p with medium settings, and I'm getting an average frame rate of around 60 to 65 frames per second. And I think that is pretty decently playable on a system like this. Now if we take that same WinMax 2 and we plug it into the eGPU dock, you can see that I can bump up the resolution to 1440p, and then the settings all the way up to Nightmare. And here I've turned off VSync so I can see just exactly the frame rate I'm getting, and it's ridiculous. It's like 260 frames per second. So obviously between the two, there is a mountain of difference in terms of performance and graphical fidelity and just overall feel. But I think this is probably a very extreme example of what it's like with and without a GPU. Let's try something else just to see how it goes. So here is God of War, again playing it at 900p resolution at low settings, and here with a 28-watt TDP, I get an average between 35 and 40 frames per second. Still very playable with this game. Meanwhile, if we bump up that resolution and the settings to 1440p and high with that eGPU dock, I get an average frame rate around 85 instead. So here we are effectively doubling our frame rate while also having a higher resolution and also higher settings. And I think this is a pretty ideal use case where you could play God of War on the go if you needed to in a pinch at a lower settings, and everything would work out pretty well at around 35-40 frames per second. But then once you're home, if you really wanted to have that full desktop experience, you can have that as well. Let's try another one as an example. I've been playing Elden Ring quite a bit over the past few weeks, although I have not gotten far at all. At this point, I've just been grinding around the castle and trying to kill all these soldiers, but the highest ranking one always kills me every time. Either way, at 1080p in low settings, I can get a good frame rate, around 45 frames per second, which I think is decent with the WinMax 2. However, if you plug it into the dock, you can get a much smoother experience at 1440p in high settings, and even then I can lock it at 60 frames per second, and I'm only using about half of the GPU's power anyway. So this has been a great solution for me when I'm trying to practice playing this game. Another great thing about this setup is that it will unlock some games that just aren't very playable on the WinMax 2 on its own. A good example here is when I was trying to playtest Cyberpunk 2077. I had set this to a 28-watt TDP and 720p with the Steam Deck settings, and at first I was getting a good 30-35 frames per second, which I think would be playable. However, after a couple minutes of playing, I found that the integrated graphics got really hot, around 95 degrees Celsius, and it got to a point where it started to throttle the performance down to the point where I was getting an average of about 15 to 20 frames per second. And so just in general, using the integrated graphics with the WinMax 2, it got capped out really quickly. Meanwhile, same story when we plug it into the dock, 1440p, high settings, and getting an average frame rate of around 60 or 55 frames per second. And of course, this is a much smoother and more enjoyable experience. And so really, when it came down to all the testing that I did with the dock, this was kind of the sweet spot for me, is trying to play games in 1440p and then push up the settings, usually too high. At this point, the limitations of the setup didn't really have to do with the dock itself, but rather the graphics card that I had. Regardless, my biggest takeaway here was that this was a very consistent experience. I could just set it to 1440p in high settings, and most games would just work without any other tweaks after that. And I think having a solid eGPU solution that gives me 1440p gameplay is about the threshold of what I'm looking at anyway. And so barring the entire cost of the Oculink device in the first place, I think that the dock itself with this kind of setup is probably worth it around $550. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are other eGPU solutions out there, so let's add that context as well. And so let's take a look at each of these two, which are actually using laptop GPUs inside and the exact same